All right, so let's get it started. DJ Nico, how you doing today, honey?
I'm just kicking it. I'm in the right. I'm in good hands. So
Absolutely, honey. What better hands than the hands of a black trans woman, honey? Tell me, where are you from? Where are you from, Nico?
I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I was actually born in Santa Monica.
But what is the T Boys Club? That's something that I see you rep very heavily on social media. But
Yes,
but I don't really 100% know what it is.
they're not even in the States. They're in the UK. The T Boys Club is originated in the UK, and it's put together by a DJ, transmasculine, a drag king, and his name is Prince Silver, and he's I think originally from Spain, but he lives in the UK. So yeah, he's very uh, down to earth, very much like radically using his voice and uplifting other trans people as well as other T boys. But the T Boys Club, when I DJ there, they welcome you with such open arms, and you kind of get like nervous about being an American in another country because America is kind of we looking a little funny. We've been looking funny for ages, so it's always like I feel like if I'm going in another country, I'm like, am I gonna fit in, or are people gonna make cheeky jokes about me? Um, but no, kind of, it slid off. That completely was just like not the case because they opened me with, welcome me with open arms, and yeah, I've never seen so many trans men in one room until I was DJing that event, and that changed my whole entire life. That
Mm.
experience changed my whole entire life. So when I came back to the States, I really started repping it. And I was just like, y'all, like, we need these spaces here too.
So, is the T Boys Club like an actual club? It's an actual place?
So they're like a series. They kind of have like different venues that they go to. But all of the places that they've hosted their events in are very much like strong allies for trans people and not just the LGB. But they very much are like loudly like, no, this is this is what we're here for.
What is your ethnicity, Nico? How do you identify?
I'm a little what you call it, like a um like white chocolate caramel swirl kind of situation. So I always like being asked this question because sometimes depending on who asks me the question, I'll just say like one thing and I kind of see like, oh, I wonder how like, what response would I get if I lean more into this or that. But regardless, my ethnicity is mixed, and my mom is black and Native American, and my father is Greek and German.
With you being a DJ and with you being somebody who is obviously socially aware, is there a conflict in playing your music? Do you have trouble playing music these days with us having so many problematic artists?
I think because my history of DJing has kind of been more like on the corporate LGBTQ side of things. So um, I had a thought the other day. I was sitting on the couch and I was just like, I wonder, like, if I played Vogue and ballroom music in certain spaces that people are not familiar in, how would they react to that? Because when they hear the latest Kendrick Lamar song they've never heard before and don't know none of the words to, you know, people like that and they vibe with it. They want to vibe, like they're seeking to vibe with it. But when it comes to like black queer house music or ballroom or Vogue, like I've even noticed where I've been my own awareness and my own library of music has been a little watered down based off of the expectations of society. So in navigating those spaces, like I definitely do. I'm always having that internal conversation with myself. Like, what happens if I play this song and are people going to chew me out for being this? Are they going to categorize me for being this? Is that going to affect how I get booked in the future? Is that gonna affect my brand? Like there's so many things that I think as a black, queer, trans, masculine person that um I I always run that through my head.
So correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like I'm hearing you say that people tend to respond better to rap from black people versus alternative music genres from black people.
Yeah, yeah, like it's been more commercialized black music is what kind of flies better. I have really more experience DJing for white LGBTQ people than black LGBTQ people. And in my opinion, that's a shame. Like, I really don't like that. And I'm not saying that because I have spite towards white LGBTQ people, because that's really not even like, I'm just not even sitting in that room. But it's just like, awareness wise, and then like I come home and I look at myself in the mirror, that is not something that white people experience.
Yeah.
So it's something for me that I have internalized as like, oh my gosh, like I'm over here trying to please a demographic of people that not only do we just have different cultures, and that's okay. The problem is that is it being is it being received? Is it being respected? Is it being cherished or savored or enjoyed in the same way that we do?
What do you think is the barrier? What do you think is causing you not to get booked or respected or acknowledged by black LGBTQ spaces?
I've always grown up in predominantly white neighborhoods. Like my mom is a black woman, my dad was not in the photo at all. Like I don't even know that man's name or what he looks like. But my mom being darker than me, a black woman, and like literally like we have both faced colorism just because. So a lot of times like I feel like I'm in the scene, and I'm coming very much from a place of like, oh, like he's a cute schoolboy, like very proper, very well mannered, very well spoken. So because of that, I've always wanted to be like, well, no, like take me under your wing, like show me the ropes. Like I want the elders to just like pour, like,
Yeah,
and
stop
I just
playing in
want to be
my
a sponge and
face.
soak it up.
Stop
You
playing
know
in
what I'm
my
saying?
face because I'm light skinned. I'm on that nigga shit too. Stop playing.
Hello? Yes.
How long have you been DJing?
Since 8.
Since you were 8 years old.
Yes,
How
since
the
I
hell?
was 8 years old.
How the hell did you start DJing as an 8 year old, Nico?
Well, cause for one, my mama really believes in me. Like, yeah, it all started really because my mom saw something in me that I couldn't even put words to, but something that I felt. And I was playing this video game. I was 8 years old, and for Christmas, I got a video game for Christmas. It's called DJ Hero. So it's like Guitar Hero, and it kind of mimics DJing. And so I would play that game. I would beat that game like so many times over and over and over and over again because I was so fascinated by it, and I just had this knack for like rhythm. But also, when my mom was pregnant with me, like she would take headphones like these, and then would like put them on her stomach, and she would play jazz. And that was my mom's way of getting me to stop kicking in her stomach. So I just had this natural inclination to music. So fast forward to when I was 8, my mom has a friend whose name is DJ Spark, and so she told my mom to go check out this place called Scratch DJ Academy, which that's a place you can go learn to DJ. It's founded in 2002 by Jam Master Jay. So they, really honed in on turntablism and everything about DJing, not just about how to do a gig and then leave, but really like the art form of it, the counting, the science of it. And I took that course as a young black yes, very queer child, female child, and I was the only person of that background in a room full of like 20 something year old and up white men primarily. And I was the first person to kind of come up on the scene, and they were just like, who is this little girl wearing like a green Adidas tracksuit? What's happening here? Like, where's your mom at? And so there was no conversation. It was just like, okay, we got her. I was the youngest person to graduate in all of the locations across the country at the time. I was 10. And ever since then, I've never looked back. That's been that was the stepping stone.
Have you ventured out into any other aspects of music making?
Yes, I have. So I love to produce, and I really love to sample. I play a couple of instruments. I've played some Latin jazz percussion instruments. So the cajon, the timbales, the congas, the bongos, the guiro, which I really love playing that.
Right now, what is your goal with music? Like, just
Mm.
today, what is your goal with music?
Well, like straight out the gate, my goal is to really not be fearful about what I play. And I kind of want to go back into appreciating vinyl a lot because I don't see too many people. Like, I see a lot of DJs that are doing it that don't look like me.
I'm curious, what is it about you music nerds that y'all always trying to put us on vinyl? What is it about vinyl? What is the difference?
The difference is that it's the frequency, for one, it's the experience.
One of the most consistent things I hear from music people in general, musicians as well, singers, is that it's a frequency difference. That it's genuinely something auditory, and it's something that makes people want to work to carry those records. It's so nostalgic or sincere or artistic or emotive that it inspires people to clean the records and clean the needles and carry the crates and all of the things. You said that you were outed in middle school. You were outed as lesbian in middle school.
Yes, I was. That was really weird because my mom is a lesbian as well. And interestingly enough, it kind of all started when I was graduating from my DJ program. I was in fifth grade, and I invited my whole entire class to come support and see because they've heard a little bit about it. And this was before I even this was before I even like kind of came to terms with like my own queerness. Like it was there, definitely was there. I just I was in fifth grade, so it just to me like I was just like a little 10-year-old girl who was wearing like all the latest basketball stuff and
You
like
were a
had my
child.
own little
You weren't
style.
expected to be able to process sexuality because you weren't expected to even understand sex.
That's true. There was this one boy, and I'm not gonna say his name obviously because like people change, but I did have a crush on him. I did have a crush on him. And for me, it felt like really weird because it was like he was the male version of me. And that's why I was so drawn to him because he also played basketball, also light skinned, mixed race black kid. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I was like, and he low key kind of cute. Like, I was like, okay, so this is really, this is something. So he came surprisingly he came to the graduation at the Scratch Academy, and he saw my mom and her then wife at the time. They they just embraced each other as I was about to go on stage, and I think they were just having a moment of like, oh my gosh, look at her grow up, like she's getting this
Look
opportunity,
at
this is
our
so great.
baby.
Yes, right? And it was just so cute. And like I remember seeing when they embraced and me just sitting there just like blushing and being like, oh, this is so amazing. I love my gay mom. And my friend though, he saw that and he called me like 2 days later, which is weird for like isn't that weird for an 11-year-old to be calling another 11-year-old asking, hey, I saw your mom kissing this person. Is she a lesbian? Like, that's weird. That's so weird for an 11-year
That
old.
sounds prompted by adults.
Yes. Well, because it's learned behavior, you know? Like,
It's learned, it's taught. Um, Children at that age, unless they've been taught homophobia, they shouldn't be concerned enough about two women kissing or embracing in a loving way.
right.
Unless they've been taught to be homophobic, unless they've been taught that two women kissing and embracing is a big deal.
I know that I would never have I would have never I would have never as an 11-year old given the wherewithal that I had I would have never um asked someone about who their parents love and what that means and what that is. Like I never would have done that, but it started there because I didn't know how to respond when asked. And at the same time, I also was just learning about what it meant to be a woman loving another woman. Because this is the age where you're talking about like reproductive sex and like you're talking about puberty and stuff, you know, fifth grade. And so I just, I remember just freezing on the phone call and being like, yes, she is. And, um, and he took a moment and it was like quiet and I was just like sitting there like, okay, so like is the phone call about to end? Like what's happening? And he was just like, your mom, she's gonna go to hell and that's not right. And you're gonna go to hell too if you don't like go meet with your dad or something or blah 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 blah. And I was just like, okay, this is I was like, okay, not only is this like homophobic, but you're also attacking my mom. And then on top of that, now my heart is broken because I actually really liked you. So then I was like, okay, well, men suck. I'm a lesbian, and I came out as bisexual.
It was
And
certified and stamped after that,
yes, I was like,
huh?
I tried to stoke the fire a little bit, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna go back to giving flowers to the girls that I had crushes on. So in middle school, I had this very cool friend, and she was in my class in sixth grade world history class, and yeah, she also like took an interest in having a friendship with me. Like it was just like very much like you know platonic, like oh like joking on the way to class and stuff like that, talking about whatever whatever. And I decided to be bold enough to tell her that I kind of like her and again switched up real quick and it was just like oh my gosh like that's disgusting get away from me like I can't talk to you ever again oh my gosh oh my gosh oh my gosh and then she went and she told one person who told another person who told another person and it spread like wildfire all of a sudden my like one of my teachers started grading me harder it was just like okay what like I lost all my friends and then I got called into the office. Like I would get called into the office because I was being told that I'm a distraction to students on campus and I can't talk about these things because it's inappropriate and it's not whatever whatever whatever. And I was just like,
It's inappropriate for you as a middle school child to tell another child that you have a crush on them, to tell another student. I mean, in what worlds? Oh, in the LGBTQ worlds. Oh, in the US where they're ingrained to be homophobic. And this is
yeah,
seen as not just a crush, but something severely problematic.
yeah. It tarnished the
Disgusting.
rest of my academic career all the way up until I graduated high school. Because everybody who went to that middle school went directly to the high school, and that high school was like quite literally like a feed like the middle school was the feeder school of the high school.
It's just trash that is how we're ingrained, and then they wonder why we deal with mental health issues because we go our whole life with y'all telling us there's something wrong with us, and we can't even be protected when we have LGBTQ parents, when we have queer
Mhm.
parents. We're not even protected because we have to deal with y'all in society.
Right.
Do you think having a lesbian mom influenced you to be trans? or lesbian or queer throughout your journey?
I think so, and I think so. I personally, I mean, I'm just thinking about like even how I was conceived. Like my mom went to a sperm bank, to have like artificial insemination. So like my dad's a sperm donor. Like my mom didn't even have sex with a man to create me.
Your
So
mom is a
it's kind of
lesbian
just
for real, for real. It's like, no,
yes,
I don't want. No, I don't want the nigga. I just
no.
want
I
the
want the turkey
baby.
baster instead. That's
I
what she
want the
wanted.
child. I want the baby. I want motherhood. I want to raise a productive person because you straight people are trash at it.
Right. Yeah. I think it does. I mean, also just like how it's kind of trickled down, excuse me, is that well, my mom never was able to come out to her parents. She was never able to come out to her parents because my grandparent, well, my mom was adopted. My adopted grandparents never knew that my mom was gay. My grandfather was not a happy camper, and he struggled with a lot of mental issues, um, PTSD, alcoholism, abuse, and my mom was subject to a lot of trauma growing up as a child, and so my mom never, like up until the moment that they both passed away, was safe, ever felt comfortable, ever felt like possible it could be possible for her to even say like, hey, this is my child, and this is my partner, or this is my wife. I don't even want to say partner. Like this is my wife and this is my child, and this is this is what we're doing. But my he didn't even want anything to do with me because I think he was upset that my mom, like, left and really built a life for herself, because she was always told that she wouldn't be nobody, that she wouldn't be shit, she wouldn't go to school and couldn't do nothing. And so she literally had to go unlearn so much trauma, um, and be, in therapy for such a long time. So I think, yes, I can say with confidence that my mom and her journey and her experience has literally, yes, I think in a sense she has passed some baton to me, and has um opened the door for us to create this safe haven, not only for me as her child, but also for her as a Black queer woman who's learning about parenthood.
Do you think that you would be straight and cisgender if you had straight parents? Or if you were raised by straight people?
Hypothetically, I feel like it depends on what gender I was born as, like, or what sex I was assigned at birth. If me being assigned female at birth, I feel like if I had straight parents, that I would probably be more prone to liking men and not being ashamed about it. If I were assigned male at birth and I had straight parents, I would be definitely given fag like all day. Yeah, I think the experiences that I've had as coming to terms with my lesbian identity would definitely mirror if I were born, if I were assigned male at birth. I probably would be more on the bisexual side, maybe leaning towards men than than women perhaps.
Are you
But
bi? Are you bi?
I just consider myself like queer, pansexual, but I also consider myself very homo positive because, well, I've ever since it was like I took testosterone and then I was like, so I'm gay now all over again. Okay. Like there was one period where I literally thought, and it was for like a good like half of a year long, where I transitioned, like socially transitioned, and in the beginning of my hormonal transition, that I was like, oh, so I'm straight now. But I hated that. I just couldn't. Like it just wasn't. I just never fit that shoe. Like I've just never fit that shoe.
It sounds to me like you're a bit sexually ambiguous, sexually fluid, kind of depends on the person and the
Yeah.
vibe.
Yes.
Do you think that most people are naturally sexually fluid and we're just ingrained based on how we're raised?
Absolutely. Yes. I'm blown away. I still find myself blown away when I find out more about certain people that I know that present straight. And then you find out like that one little quirk they have, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, I think there's too much history. There's too much context in history, human history, like in literally every single culture and custom in the world that have all screamed, we are not with the patriarchy, we are not with cisgender heteronormativity, and we are not with colonialism. I feel like straight people are coping with things that we really just like we are outwardly addressing on a daily basis, and it's yeah. So I think regardless of who my parents were and what my upbringing is, I really don't think my sexuality would be like cookie
Concrete,
cutter.
either or. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fluid.
Binary. Yeah, I get it. I completely get it. I feel the same way. I think regardless what gender or sex I was assigned at birth, I would always have been queer or gravitated toward queerness. But it's just a thought. I mean, we never, the world may never know. How long have you been on T now?
About 4 years, and we're in May, so four years, and it'll be 5 months on the 21st. So about 4 years and some change.
Black men and black women are debating whether black men actually love and care about black women.
Oh, you know what? I feel like the media is to blame for that. The media is really, really to blame for that. Yeah. First of all, I feel like men need to address their mommy issues. You cannot find the divine feminine to be something so abstract to the point where there's like there's no mutual connection to it. I don't even understand how a black man could even see himself in a position where he would see another black woman, another sister, another mother, another aunt, um, anybody, another black Nubian queen, and say like, this is not what society wants me to do or be a part of. I'm not allowed to step into my blackness, so I have to shun this dynamic of black love.
Mm.
Yeah, I just don't even see how you could like address that and then not talk about the mommy issues. Cause that's my question. Like that's the question that just came up in my head. It's just like, so is this black man like what's his relationship with his mama like? Unfortunately, hate can be bred in any household. Unfortunately, that is what's true. It shouldn't be allowed, and it shouldn't be something normalized, and it shouldn't be an occurrence. But unfortunately, that can happen if we don't have just this appreciation for humanity as a whole. Like we can't scream and ask for world peace, and then the relationship with your mom is kind of like iffy, or the relationship with your wife is kind of iffy.
Ooh, from the mouth of babes, honey. From the mouth of babes, honey.
Please, please, please. Um, I urge you, and I urge anybody who's watching this to forget about pleasing people. At the same time, forget about your ego. Just trust your own humility, and know that if you're in a rough spot, that you can turn that poison into medicine. We need to continue protecting trans kids. We need to continue nurturing trans spaces. We need to literally not seek permission anymore because it's not required. We don't need permission to love ourselves, and we don't need permission to love others as well.
Thank you for coming through, DJ Nico. To get in touch with this guy, to learn more things about him and the T Boys Club, All of the links are in the description of this video. Y'all already know what it's given. Peace, love, and blessings, y'all.
Peace.